London. Second place is Edinburgh, and in first place, Shanghai. What's surprisingly missing? Paris. It's ranked 22nd. Visit timeout.com for the whole list and find more travel at rmworldtravel.com.
Golfers, business owners, everyone. It's the 2026 Manor House Pro-Am Golf Tournament, followed by the Annika Women's All-Pro Tour, sponsored by Coca-Cola Dr. Pepper, benefiting the Manor House, April 15th through 18th at Links on the Bayou. Golfers, your 3-person team will play with a pro on Wednesday. Don't golf? Then come watch, make a donation, or become a sponsor. Contact the Manor House for details. The Manor House Pro-Am Golf Tournament starts April 15th at Links on the Bayou.
Woodman Life reinvests in our communities through donations, volunteering, and supporting local programs. Our people and places are at the heart of everything we do. Get your life insurance quote at woodmanlife.org. Woodman Life is the brand name for Women of the World Life Insurance Society in Omaha, Nebraska. Ad number 80137.
KSYL.
Louisiana Radio Network Sports, I'm Colleen Crane. LSU's Cade Arambidi and Tiger fans will never forget Easter 2026 as Arambidi became the first LSU player in school history to hit 4 home runs in one game as the Fighting Tigers rallied from a 5-0 deficit to beat Tennessee 16-6 in 12 innings. Arambidi's 4th home run was a grand slam. Here's Chris Blair of LSU Sports Radio Network on the call.
Hit in the air to right field, and watching it, Chapman didn't even move. Cade Arambidi again off the scoreboard in right center, a grand slam, and the Tigers open it up.
Arambidi had 5 hits on the day and drove in 7 runs as LSU evened up its SEC record at 6-6 with its first series victory in Knoxville since 2016. LSU Gymnastics is headed back to the national championships as Kaylin Chio and Kalia Lincoln each scored perfect 10s in the regional finals. LSU will compete in the semifinals on April 16th. LRN. This will be the 3rd week of LSU spring practice. The players are getting to know each other, and many of them are getting to know Louisiana. Tigers safety Ty Benefield is from Irvine, California, and this is the first time he's ever been to Louisiana.
It's just a different feeling, you know what I mean? The West Coast is the beaches, you know, the inner city, big cities and stuff like that. Like, I'm an inner city kid all through and through. And so, you know, being out here, you kind of get a little bit of country, you kind of get that bayou, and it's just real different, but it's amazing. It's cool.
ULM Ford Pemberton and Ragin' Cajuns coach Matt Deggs had trouble keeping their cool this past weekend. Both coaches were tossed, and the video of their ejections went viral. Deggs tried to take on the entire James Madison dugout. Both the Cajuns and Warhawks ended up losing their series. McNeese has lost its women's basketball coach after 1 season. Ayla Gazzardo, who also had a lot of success at Southeastern, is the new head coach at Georgia. LRN.
KSYL.
Most people want a nice, somewhat large smartphone screen, but how big is too big? I'm Kim Commando for NetSuite. AI is here and companies using it are ahead. If your revenue exceeds 7 figures, get their free guide, Demystifying AI, at netsuite.com/Kim. The most popular size smartphone screens are 6.1, 6.6, and 6.7 inches. In 2011, Samsung introduced the foldable screen, 7.3 inches open, 4.6 inches closed. Acceptance has always been lukewarm, which raises a question. Why would Samsung make an even bigger smartphone screen? It's not like customers were asking for it. So how big is too big? 2 months ago, Samsung introduced the giant Galaxy Z Trifold smartphone. Closed, it measures 6.25 inches high, 3 inches wide. When opened, it's 9 inches wide, bigger than Apple's iPad mini. So Samsung stopped making them, which answers the question, how big is too big? Get my free newsletter at getkim.com. Every business is asking the same question. How do we make AI work for us? The possibilities are endless, and guessing is way too risky. Sitting on the sidelines is not an option. Your competitors are already making their move. This is exactly the solution I turn to. With NetSuite by Oracle, you can put AI to work today. As the #1 AI cloud ERP, trusted by over 43,000 businesses, it brings your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, and CRM together into one single source of truth, making your AI smarter. It doesn't guess, it knows. It automates routine tasks, delivers insights, cuts costs, and powers fast AI decisions. Now with NetSuite's AI connector, you can take the AI you already trust and connect it straight to your business. This is not another add-on tool. It's built into the system that runs your business. NetSuite helps you stay ahead. If your revenues are at least 7 figures, get their free business guide, Demystifying AI, at netsuite.com/Kim. The guide is free to you at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talkback here on Monday. I'm Al Quartermont. Hope you had a happy and blessed Easter. And for some of you, getting ready to start the work week. However, the roads are awfully quiet this morning, so I'm guessing a lot of people aren't working yet today. I don't think the schools are back in just yet. Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
Morning. No school.
No school today. That's
No
probably why.
daycare either.
And no daycare. Creates a little issue for you, I'm sure.
Why did they get off on Monday?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Must be nice.
Can't answer that. I don't have off today.
You've been having off. Took your long Easter break.
Yeah.
Should have just made it one more day while you're at it.
I know in the past we've had that Monday after Easter, just with the theory it gives students time traveling to get back to campus and spend Easter with their family, but not this year, I guess. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
But hey, it was a nice break having last week off. Took the week off from Talkback as well. Had a chance to do a little traveling last week. My son plays for Louisiana Tech's club volleyball team, and they competed in the National Club Volleyball Federation Championships in Kansas City. I had no idea what we were going to. There were like 500 teams there between men and women. It was insane. They had it downtown at the Kansas City Convention Center. So the main room, I guess you would call it, was probably the length of 4 football fields with nothing but volleyball courts that they had set up.
Wow.
There had to be I think there were 60 courts in there. And so it was wild because you'd find the court number that your team was playing on to go watch the team you were following. But all you hear are just whistles because, you have all these officials that are making calls. So you know how in sports they tell you to play to the whistle. I'm like, which whistle would you even play to there? Because it sometimes feels like there's one right there when it's from a different court. So it was kind of wild.
They stopped 95 times in a second.
Yeah. So the tournament was Thursday through Saturday. And basically, as you won or lost, you got kind of repositioned into different brackets. And it was cool to watch. The Tech team, I think they went, I want to say 3-4, maybe. No, they played 8 games, so maybe there were 3-5. But good experience, a lot of fun, and it's crazy because the hotel that we were staying at, where the team was staying at, where I think most of the players were staying, was the Lowe's Hotel in downtown Kansas City, right next to the convention center. Had one of those covered crosswalks that you go across the road into it, so you never have to go outside, which was nice when it was storming on Friday night. But
nice.
I think Thursday or Friday morning, it must have been Friday morning, came down and I saw a guy sitting in one of the little, they had a little, what I want to call it, lounge area right next to the bar towards the escalator that you would go to get the convention center. Anyway, he's wearing a Brewers shirt. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, because I knew the Brewers were in Kansas City for the weekend. And he was there with his son. I'm like, hey, go Brewers. And we just started talking. Turns out he's from Sheboygan. And he's like, hey, do you know the Brewers are staying in this hotel? I'm like, oh, really? So the night before, he had gotten pictures with his son with the manager and Christian Yelich and some of the other top players. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. So we go to Mason's game that morning, come back and about to get on the elevator, and who gets off? Sal Frelick, who's the Brewers right fielder. So I'm like, hey, Sal. So we just started talking, and he asked me, because he saw we were wearing a Louisiana Tech volleyball shirt. He's like, what's going on at this hotel? I'm like, well, they got this huge convention. He's like, man, okay. So talked for a while. And then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, Brewers are here. So a friend of mine, guy I used to know when I worked in Milwaukee, he's been the radio broadcast producer engineer for probably 40 years now, and about my age. So I messaged him through Facebook. I'm like, hey, are you staying at the Lowe's? And he messaged back. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm here too. So we met down in the lobby and just kind of reacquainted for about 20 or 30 minutes, which is kind of cool. While we were talking, one of the Brewers' assistant coaches came up and started talking to us, a guy named Nestor Corredor, who's from Venezuela.
Wow.
And he was actually one of the coaches on the Venezuelan team for the World Baseball Classic. So he was telling us all about his experience, and it was pretty wild. I'm like, this takes me back to when I worked in Milwaukee and covered sports. And baseball people are just the nicest people. They're just cool to talk to. And then my son was walking by, so I'm like, stopped him and introduced him to my friend and everything, and we were talking about whatever. And he goes, hey, Yelich and Woodruff just walked into the coffee shop. Brandon Woodruff's the best pitcher on the Brewers. And then, of course, Christian Yelich has been their star player for about 8 years now. So Mason's like, oh, I want to get a picture with Christian Yelich. So he got all excited. So we went in, and Yelich could not have been nicer.
Good.
And Brandon Woodruff could not have been nicer. He's actually from Mississippi. So I mentioned how we were from Louisiana. He's like, oh, just one state over. And he's from Tupelo. So we were talking about, like, I know a couple of TV people from Tupelo that he knew too. And it was just a really, really cool experience. So one last thing, a friend of mine, a guy used to work for me when I was news director in Rhinelander up in northern Wisconsin. For the last 19 years now, he has been the pregame, postgame host for the Royals and the sideline reporter. So I was texting him to see if he was going to be at the game Friday night. Well, it turns out it was an Apple TV broadcast night, so they weren't doing their game, so he didn't have to go. But he's like, I can get you tickets. I'm like, okay, cool. So
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, so got tickets for Friday's game, and my cousin's daughter lives in Kansas City. And 2 years ago when the Brewers were there, we drove up and went to all 3 games. So I texted her. I'm like, hey, we're up here. You guys want to go to the game tomorrow night? And she's like, sure. Or tonight, I guess it would have been. So he gets me tickets. Game gets rained out.
Oh, no.
And we were leaving Saturday. They rescheduled for a 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock doubleheader, like split doubleheader. So couldn't go. But that was the only kind of.
At least you got to meet everybody.
Yeah. I mean,
that's way better anyway.
It was so cool. Yeah.
What are the chances?
I know. It was pretty wild. So got some pictures with those guys, and
I was like, yeah, my son was playing volleyball or something. But man, we got to see Christian Yelich.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Nestor, whoever. And
so,
what's your name, kid?
What are you playing again? What sport?
You got a new shirt.
The volleyball thing was interesting.
You didn't like it?
Oh no, I did. I enjoyed it. I mean,
it was overwhelming.
Volleyball, when you have 2 good teams, like it goes pretty fast. You know, like I would say the matches lasted about 40 minutes each, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And sometimes you go a third. You have like 2 sets. If you win 2-0, you win. If it's 1-1, you go to a third set to 15. And we did that several times where it went to a third set. But just seeing like all the athletes from around the country. I mean, because some of the schools like UCLA, Wisconsin, which have big time women's college programs, they had club teams there. And apparently they have kids that kind of want to get to that varsity level but aren't that good yet, play on these club teams to get better. And then a lot of schools like Louisiana Tech, where they only have a certain number of teams that they can afford to have, will have club teams. You know,
like there's no actual like men's volleyball at the school.
Not like a sanctioned varsity sport by the NCAA.
Okay. They
have a women's college team.
Is this like a countrywide thing or?
Yeah, it's absolutely.
There's no men's like.
No,
NCAA?
there is varsity men's.
Oh, okay.
Volleyball. Some schools have it. I'd have to do research how many, but especially a lot of the California schools, they've been having that for years. Yeah, and those are a lot of those guys you'll see go on and play in the Olympics.
Okay.
But yeah, several schools just have the club teams because they don't support having a full varsity program. Because the problem is if you have a men's varsity team, you have to correspondingly have a women's varsity team and something else to have equal teams per Title IX.
So Tech doesn't have women's either.
They do.
Then,
But if they added a men's volleyball team, they'd have to add another women's sport.
oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So
Because they already have a disparity.
yeah.
Okay.
So you have to have like equal number is what it comes down to.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it kind of is. But this National Club Volleyball Federation, I think it's what it's called. They're a really good organization. I was just doing a lot of research on them during the tournament and looking at their social media, and I mean they made it a big time thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up Saturday night, the championship games, they played at the big arena like downtown, where I guess if they had like an NBA team, they would play there.
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, Mason's last game, they played at the old Kemper Arena. Some of you NBA fans might remember when they had the Kansas City Kings before they moved to Sacramento. They used to play at the Kemper Arena. But
When were they there? What years?
They were there big time, like in the 70s and 80s. I'm trying to remember when they would have moved to Sacramento. Maybe in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere around there.
Sacramento.
Yeah. But Kansas City's a cool town. I really like Kansas City. Reminds me a lot of Milwaukee in some ways. You know, just that Midwestern city.
Mm-hmm.
Only with beef barbecue.
Me and my friend, not to go on a long story, we were broke college kids, but somehow we gathered enough money to buy Cowboys Chiefs tickets, and we drove up 11 hours, lived off Sonic hot dog coupons, and stayed the night in our car and watched the game at Arrowhead and drove right back. It was fun.
Yeah, and the Royal Stadium's right next to Arrowhead.
Mm-hmm. Took us 4 hours to get out of that parking lot.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
Ridiculous.
It's not a bad drive, but it'll be a better drive whenever they complete I-49 all the way through.
Yes, because and we stayed in the fancy part of Kansas City about a year and a half ago for the IRE conference, which is reporters conference. So no, I'm sorry, it was the Emmy Awards. It was really cool. So I think it's called Overton.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Overton part of Kansas City?
Overton,
Over something?
Kansas?
Overton Park, maybe? Maybe I'm making that up, but it's
Overland
something.
Park?
Maybe, yeah. It was nice, though, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Was
so
really
the Chiefs are building a new stadium, but it'll be on the Kansas side of the river.
That was a big deal for them.
Yeah.
Kansas finally got a pro football team.
But just kind of a fun experience.
Everyone's really nice there, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Super nice. And we drove back Saturday so we could get back in time for Easter. And, of course, stopped at a Culver's somewhere in, like, northwest Arkansas. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was Bentonville, I think, where Walmart headquarters are.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just blown away by, like, what great customer service at the fast food place. I'm like, I'm just not used to that, you know?
Certain franchises do it better.
Yeah.
For sure.
They do a good job.
You know, we lived by Culver's. Literally, it was across the street from us. And we never went.
I would have been I would have been in trouble.
When we were at Panama City Beach, they had one like, right down the road from us.
That's crazy.
But it was on the other side of Back Beach Road, which is hell on earth.
Yeah.
And it's just a pain to get around.
To get there. All right. Well, we need to take a quick break. More Talkback coming up.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The Iran war is entering its 6th week, and S&P futures are starting off with slight gains. Boosting sentiment this morning are signs that a few more ships have crossed the Strait of Hormuz. That's sending the price of global oil lower at close to $109 a barrel. Looking ahead to economic data this week, inflation will be in focus. The sudden increase in gas prices felt by consumers is set to be on full display. The consumer price report will be released on Friday. Other data investors will be watching include the minutes from the Federal Reserve's most recent meeting. And United Airlines is introducing a new tiered fare structure with 3 options for premium cabins. The airline will offer base, standard, and flexible options for its Polaris and Premium Plus customers on long-haul international, transcontinental U.S., and select Hawaii flights. The new base tier offers the lowest price point but fewer benefits. Flexible tickets add the ability to receive a full refund upon request. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
What's happening at your library this spring?
everything. At Rapides Parish Library, there's something for everyone. We have book clubs, classes, and fun for all ages, all free. Adults, check out our painting classes, gardening workshops, and enjoy a live cooking demo. Kids, you can make slime, learn to draw cartoons, and more hands-on fun. Whatever your age or interest, we've got you covered. Visit your RPL library this spring. We promise you'll find something for you.
Good morning. Mostly cloudy skies starting us out on this Monday. We'll see gradual clearing, though, by about noontime. 74 should do it for the afternoon high. Going to be a bit breezy. Winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10. No gusts as high as 20. Tonight, increasing clouds down to 47 for the overnight low. And as we look ahead to Tuesday, another nice day, lots of sunshine. Afternoon high 75. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talk Back. 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we are back with you here on a Monday morning. Hope everyone had a safe and blessed Easter. Got to eat a lot of food. And we had some good food yesterday. Some good ham.
We ate Subway, I think.
What?
Yeah, because my wife had to work, so
Really?
Sophie and I went to church, and my parents ended up coming too, or my mom did.
Okay.
I didn't have any groceries in the house. Like Subway, and then they got hungry that night. I went and bought some hot dogs.
Okay.
I forgot about the whole Easter, like, making a nice meal thing. Oh, well.
You should have come over. We had plenty.
You didn't tell me.
I know.
Figured you're Kansas City living or something.
All right, let's go to the phones on Talkback here on Monday. You're on the BOM Bank Talk line. Good morning.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you had a nice trip.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate your sincere concern there.
Well, it's kind of interesting to hear about all the coincidences that you had with respect to running into your baseball buds and so forth.
Yeah. No, it was that was totally unexpected and made it a really memorable trip for sure.
Yeah, well, what I was calling about, I don't get to Pineville all that often, and I don't think I'm on, the New Bridge Expressway area more than about 4 or 5 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
But it was my understanding that there was some move to increase the speed limit over there. And I thought the speed limit, once you got on top of the bridge heading north or coming south in that general area, I thought the speed limit was 70. Because I get blown off the road myself driving 50,
right,
which apparently is the stated speed limit. So if it goes to 60, will it now be 80?
Good question. It feels like people go basically however fast they want to. Although when you do see, sometimes police are there monitoring, everyone slows down. But I would say, like, to me, it probably needs to be at least like 65 because you go from, I guess it's 65 down to 50 once you, right before you kind of get to 28 East if you're coming south. And then it stays that way until you get over the Purple Heart Bridge. But like you said, most people are blowing past you.
Well, about the only place I see anybody actually trying to observe a speed limit in this region is in some of the smaller towns that have very effective radar units.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason for the speed limits. And the reason has to do basically with safety.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if it ever occurred to people that intentionally speeding 5 to 10 miles over has something to do with our...
With our what? You cut out there.
Insurance rates.
Maybe so.
I mean, it may basically have some relationship to an increase in accidents and problems.
Mm-hmm.
This is why engineers set speed limits. It's not to be nasty.
Yeah. Well, if you remember, the speed limit was a lot lower. It might have been around 50-ish, maybe 55 when you were coming from south of Alexandria. Once you kind of got into that city territory, and then they upped it up to 70.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested to know if it has increased any accidents. Sometimes it feels like the slower vehicles cause the accidents because they just kind of impede everyone.
Well, I mean, in my particular case, I don't want a ticket.
Right.
Provide generally a speed limits.
Yeah, no, I agree
And
with you.
One,
yeah.
That's one surefire way. By the way, coming along Bayou Rapids Road up in the Coteau area, you need to be really careful now because of the 18-wheelers hauling dirt to the AI Center area. About the only time those guys hit their brakes is when they're about to run over somebody.
Yeah. All right. Well,
our sheriff.
I'm sorry. Go
Our
ahead.
sheriff ought to really put his guys up there.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your thoughts and observations this morning. We appreciate it. And we'll take a break. More coming up.
KSYL.
Louisiana forests once fueled our economy. Your granddad logged these woods. So did your dad. And now, Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is keeping that legacy alive, turning thinnings and wood byproducts into clean fuel right here in Pineville. It means more jobs, stronger forests, and a future that honors where Central Louisiana came from. Be part of Louisiana's next chapter. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Some smiles sound like this, while others sound this way. If you'd like to improve the way your smile sounds, the folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver. Over the years, hundreds of Central Louisiana patients have visited Today's Dental and then left completely satisfied. Their dental implant procedure is amazingly simple, low anxiety, and completely affordable. Today's technology makes your beautiful smile easier than ever. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Want your smile to sound better? Give Today's Dental a call at 318-448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 318-448-4540.
I start every workday morning off the same way. I stop in and pick up breakfast at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express. It's convenient, quick, and oh so good. Croissants, biscuits, breakfast subs, and their hot coffee is the perfect pick-me-up. They always ask me why I'm in such a good mood when I get to work. Improve your mood. Stop by Wilmore's any weekday morning from 6 till 9 and get your day started right. That's Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express right there on the corner of North MacArthur Drive and Bayou Rapids Road.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talkback.
All right, we are back on Talkback. Alan Stephen with you. Let's go back to the phones. And good morning. You're on Talkback.
Okay, y'all want to get grossed out this morning?
Grossed out? Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Okay, well, like homeless people. Homeless people are not homeless people. They're mentally ill drug addicts.
In some cases, that's true. Yeah.
So, all cases. If you can show me one that's not, I'll say, okay, but you can't find one. They're mentally ill drug addicts.
I don't know. I have a friend who actually does a church. He calls it the Church on the Levee, which he specifically started several years ago to minister to people that are homeless. And he has a lot of stories of men and women that have gotten their lives right. So, I don't know. He probably would know more being out there talking to them what their reasons are. But there's no question a lot of the cases drug addicts. And I just saw a post, might have been by Elon Musk or somebody saying how the homeless situation, especially in states like California, these NGOs profit so much by having them that it's kind of a racket.
Well, that does. Oh, sorry. We can talk about that later. But the thing is that, you know how they got this program, you know, Democrats have this program, needle exchange program.
Mm-hmm.
And you ever been around one of those? You walk along the street, there's needles all over the place.
No, never have.
Ever seen that? I've seen all those needles everywhere. You go into a real homeless people where they're all mentally ill drug addicts, there's needles everywhere.
Yeah.
You have to wear shoes, real thick shoes, because you step on the needle.
Wow.
The mayor of Toronto is a Democrat. I don't know if she's called a Democrat, but she's a Democrat. She came up with this program where they spent $3 million on it to buy these kits to inject drugs instead of using a needle to inject drugs into people's colon.
What? Okay. Wow.
It's the absolute. You can look it up. It's the absolute $3 million. I cannot believe it. And anyway, can you imagine walking around Toronto and they got these kits, used kits all over the place?
Yeah. Okay. That is gross. Because I'm guessing you'd have to use kind of like an enema kit kind of a thing. And yeah. So, wow. That's an innovation. Check drugs up your butt. Okay. I did not have that topic on my bingo card for this morning.
Yeah. Next.
How do you follow that call? We'll see. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. Suddenly, my life seems a lot better. I appreciate your stories. I kind of live vicariously through your adventures and your hijinks and all the stuff you go through. Only even in my fantasies, I don't know as much about sports as you do. I wouldn't have known those people when they got off elevators and stuff. But I'm glad you did. I'm glad Mason had a good time. I enjoyed listening to that story. But, I couldn't let Easter go by without putting out something. So I'm a member of several debate pages on Facebook. And there's one I like the best. It's called Debate the Hate. And they have some really strict rules, but they guard it very closely. And they want open debate. And so I posted Charlie Kirk's Easter message that it's short, it's about 30 minutes, that he had put out, before he passed away and before he was murdered. And then I summarized it in a few points. He used ease that. His thing was prove me wrong. I said, he existed, he was executed, the early accounts, he was entombed, the eyewitnesses. And anyways, I also added that, some of the greatest among us have all been devout Christians. And with the Artemis II mission, I just heard one of their interviews. They asked what they were bringing with them, what cherished item they were bringing with them. Well, the pilot, he brought his Bible. And so I gave that story. And I said, and also, the first humans to go to the moon, when they saw Earth rise over the moon, the first thing they did, and this was totally voluntary, they read from the scriptures, because that's what they wanted to do. Now, the atheists here got all upset. So when Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins went, and Aldrin and Armstrong landed, they didn't publicize this, but they said it later, that as soon as they got the lander down and everything was secure, they had the Lord's Supper, because Buzz Aldrin was an ordained Presbyterian deacon, and he wanted to consecrate it, wanted to thank the Lord for what they had done. And Armstrong was a devout Christian too. And so, of course, I got 30 or 40 hate things, different things that happened, but a few people that was up there parrying them with me, and so that was good. And but then the Lord provided even more. They called the Artemis mission, and the pilot gave a good message, just a few minutes long, but about how God had created us, and that he said, "You're talking to me in a spaceship." I said, "But we all live on a spaceship. We're the only life, and it was great." And then the last thing I used was the pilot that was shot down. We had an F-15 Strike Eagle shot down on Good Friday, and they got the pilot right away, but the weapons officer was missing, and as soon as he was hurt on landing with his parachute, broke his ankle, but as soon as he got to a safe location, he radioed, "God is good." And that was a code that he knew they would know, because he was a devout Christian. And so when they heard that, they knew it wasn't a fake, that was him. And so they went after him and they used different force instead, but they got him out. And so anyways, I put in a PS on my post there. I haven't seen anybody answer it yet, but God is good. And sometimes he allows his people to go through tremendous suffering and even die. And sometimes he rescues them right out of the fire, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and this guy. Because look, they were hunting for him. They put out a big bounty for him and everything. But anyways, it's just good to see God at work. And it gives you some, confirmations as we see people. And the left thinks we're all ignorant country bumpkins that believe in the Lord. But it's nice to be able to throw some of these people up in their face who are the most accomplished people among us and yet share our faith. Anyways, thanks for letting me speak my piece. Glad y'all had a good trip and a good Easter. Talk to you later.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. To his point, talking about like the Artemis crew. Well, let me back up. Remember the crew that was stranded on the space station for like months? And then finally Elon Musk rescued them? The man on the crew, he's a devout Christian, and if you read or heard a lot of what he said during that time, just very, very solid testimony. So Victor Glover is also on the current crew of Artemis. They have 4 crew members. Today, by the way, they're going to be on the far side of the moon. I guess we can cue the Pink Floyd, see you on the dark side of the moon. But he shared an Easter message yesterday that they played on CBS Sunday Morning with Jane Pauley, and I feel like our audience would really enjoy hearing what he had to say. So take a listen.
You're looking at images from a moonshot travelogue, wonders seen by human eyes for the first time in more than a half century.
As for humans who have looked at the moon our entire lives, it just looked different out the window, and that is wild. It just really put our place in the universe in perspective.
Commander Reed Wiseman leads the Artemis II crew. We talked to them sailing roughly 180,000 miles from Earth. Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen.
We've all watched a waxing moon from Earth. What's it like to watch the moon grow from space?
To watch the moon grow is exciting. That's our destination. That's where we're locked onto.
And liftoff. This test flight launched a new era of lunar exploration. It sets NASA's stage for a moon landing, scheduled for early 2028, and over time to become lunar homesteaders by establishing a permanent base. Christina Cook is the first woman to go to the moon.
Is there something you left behind that you wish you had brought with you?
My family, I would love to have them up here, but then I might actually never come home.
Tomorrow night, a mission milestone begins. The crew of 4 will loop around the moon's far side. The rest of humanity will be on the other side. The crew will push farther from Earth than anyone in history. Astronaut Victor Glover brought his Bible to space.
Do you have a message you'd like to share from space about Easter Sunday?
As we go into Easter Sunday, thinking about, all the cultures all around the world, whether you celebrate it or not, whether you believe in God or not, this is an opportunity for us to remember where we are, who we are, and that we are the same thing and that we got to get through this together.
All right. So kind of cool stuff, because when they were interviewing them, the woman who's the crew member, you just see her hair like sticking up because of the lack of gravity. And they had a wireless microphone, like kind of one of those stick microphones, as we call it, with a little thing at the bottom. And they were just kind of passing it. It was just floating between them as they were. But, it is something that is a wonderment to us, the thought of space, the final frontier, and seeing what this crew is doing and that they're going to do something today that no one's ever done. That's pretty cool.
It is.
And I think for what did they say? There's a certain amount of time, maybe it was like 30 or 40 minutes, something like that. Maybe it's more, that they won't be able to have any contact with NASA back home.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to be out there.
Would you do it? Get a free ride?
I don't think I would. Yeah. Even like in that video when they're showing the colony that they could potentially set up there, I'm like, I still wouldn't live there.
Looks kind of depressing.
Yeah, it's like gray.
I hate when it's overcast here. I can imagine.
I know.
Maybe it'd be cool.
I mean, I think it takes a special person want to do that. And I'm glad that there are. I mean, it took special people to sail in ships to the West without knowing what was awaiting them.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times ships that were never heard from again.
Oh, yeah.
Because of storms or other things that happen.
That's true. I feel like, what was that, like a CNN report or something? CBS?
That was CBS, yeah.
It feels like faith and Christianity has become less taboo the past year and a half or so.
Yeah.
And you're saying, we've talked about it before, young people going into faith. So it's been interesting to see a bit of a shift there. Because it was going in the opposite direction for sure.
Yeah. And I think what people discovered is, wow, there has to be more than this. There has to be more meaning. And they've been looking for it. So you're finding it. But yeah, Glover, the guy who spoke that at the end, like they said, brought his Bible along. And it was cool that the reporter engaged him on that. That was neat.
Yeah, but which translation was it?
That was true. It better have been the King James instead of all those other fake Bibles out there. All right, we'll be right back.
Here's the message.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter. At the Clinics, your health is our priority. Whether it's a routine checkup or ongoing care, we are here for you. Dr. Noah Miller, our newest family medicine physician, along with 5 other dedicated family physicians, are now accepting new patients. Schedule your appointment today. And remember, if you're ever admitted to the hospital, our doctors will see you there too. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The Clinics, 1587 North Bolton, 445-9823, online at theclinics.us.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Problems. Everybody hates them, but from time to time, everybody's got some. And that's why everybody needs to know about Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Heating or cooling problem? Call Southern Air. Plumbing or drain problem? It's Southern Air again. Your power's out and you need a generator? Guess who? And you can keep those problems away this winter with a heating tune-up. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling now at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
That's right, Alexandria. Ready for the biggest crawfish boil in Cenla? This Saturday at Spirits, we're bringing the heat with live music from Alligator Blue, delicious crawfish from Hotheads, and specialty brews from Huckleberry Brewing. Tickets are selling fast. $50 gets you 4 pounds of mud bugs and all the fixins. Or grab a $20 general admission ticket and come soak up the fun. Things kick off at 3 this Saturday at Spirits on Texas Avenue. Get tickets now at spiritsunlot.com and get ready for a weekend of mud bugs and music.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Just the fact that it's Easter weekend, I know your faith is important to you. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that means everything to me. I read the Bible every single day, and it's just a part of who I am and who I'm becoming. I feel like Jesus Christ sacrificed for us to be here and to be on the stage, and just like you said, a strong believer. I think it leads me to walk a Christ-led life and just to love everyone around me. So I'm grateful to be here, and I know that's a big part of it.
All right, that is one of the members of the Michigan basketball team, and let's see, I'm trying to find his name here. Namari Burnett. And Michigan tonight takes on UConn at the Final Four, the national championship game. And there were several players. Reed, I know on UConn also was very open about his faith. So to your point, Stephen, that you were making before we went to the commercial, you're seeing a lot of young people that are are not afraid to speak out. We had the situation with the NBA player last week who spoke out about his disagreeing with some lifestyle issues that the NBA pushes, and he got waived. And that has made a lot of other players come to his defense, including Travion Henderson, the young star running back of the New England Patriots. So these young people are showing a lot of boldness, and I think it's pretty cool. But even if it costs them.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
It tells us that.
Yes, sir. All right, more coming up in hour number 2. Stay with us.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump is expected to give an update on the Iran war at 1 p.m. Eastern after posting to Truth Social he would blow up the whole country if Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz by tomorrow evening. Correspondent Nancy Cordes is at the White House.
The president insisted his top negotiators, Stephen Witkoff and Jared Kushner, are having productive talks with Iran and claimed there's a good chance they can make a deal. Both sides have received a proposal from regional countries that would implement a 45-day ceasefire and immediately reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But it's still unclear if the U.S. and Iran would agree to it.
Israel says it's killed the leader of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's undercover unit. The Artemis II mission is scheduled to make a historic loop around the far side of the moon today. New footage shows crew members watching as the moon gets closer. Commander Reed Wiseman.
The four of us have looked at this moon our entire lives, and the way we are responding to what we are seeing out the window, it's amazing.
If all goes well, the crew will set a new long-distance record from Earth. There will be a communications blackout, 40 minutes of silence as their capsule passes behind the moon and blocks direct signals to NASA. Pepsi is withdrawing its support for a music event overseas this summer. Correspondent Vicky Barker from London.
The top sponsors of a big London music festival have pulled out after Prime Minister Keir Starmer expressed serious concern that Ye would be headlining the 3-day event. Pepsi and Diageo both yanking their support. Following last week's announcement, a number of British politicians and faith groups called for the rapper to be denied a visa. They are skeptical of his January apology for past anti-Semitic pro-Nazi remarks.
More than 2 months after her mother was kidnapped, Savannah Guthrie returned to the Today Show anchor desk.
It is good to be home.
Yes, it is good to have you back at home.
Well, here we go. Ready or not.
Yeah.
Let's do the news.
Yes, so good to have you back.
Guthrie wore a yellow dress. Her co-host Craig Melvin a yellow tie. The color symbolizes joy and optimism. Guthrie said she was excited to see fans with signs outside the studio window. She said she's been feeling the love so much. They picked up an extra passenger on a flight from Kingston, Jamaica to New York's JFK over the weekend. Air traffic control made a request after a woman gave birth.
Is it out yet? Yes, sir. All right. Tell her she's got to name it Kennedy. Kennedy. Will do.
No word on whether the new mom took the tower's suggestion. Gas is up to an average $4.12 a gallon today. Dow futures up 4. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
A rare sight at a lot of Catholic churches yesterday. Packed pews.
At the Cathedral of the Holy Cross, Mother Church of the Archdiocese of Boston, it was standing room only for many Easter Sunday Masses. Archbishop Richard Henning.
It's happening across the country and certainly here in Boston, too. The number of people receiving baptism or confirmation is up. The number of young people participating at Mass is way up.
Henning says attendance at Masses in the churches of the Archdiocese has been steadily increasing over the last 4 years.
It's not a program or one person. It seems to be happening independently in so many places. So I think this generation just seems open to the call of the Lord in a way that we've not seen in a while.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Critics panned it, but a sequel based on a 41-year-old video game series has just scored the biggest box office opening of the year. The Super Mario Galaxy movie's taken in $190 million. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. 3 weeks into the legislative session, and there have not been any substantial pieces of legislation heading to the governor.
Political analyst Bernie Pincinat says Governor Landry's legislative agenda is relatively light after spending the first 2 years of his administration pushing through major reforms in the areas of education, crime, taxes, and insurance.
You're going to see a lot of feel-good legislation.
Pincinat says eliminating the need for an inspection sticker for personal vehicles is one bill that's heading to the House floor that would impact residents, and he expects there will be other impactful bills to follow.
The business community would like to see more reforms related to tort reform.
I'm John Burns.
A proposed resolution to ask LHSAA to make dance, cheer, and lacrosse sanctioned high school sports under its authority passed unanimously out of a House committee. Republican Roger Wilder brought the legislation out of safety concerns.
We're throwing these teenage girls 15 feet in the air, or the cheerleader team is, and then there's no safety protocols for that right now.
LRN. LSU's Cade Arambidi became the first LSU player in school history to hit 4 home runs in one game as the Tigers rallied from a 5-0 deficit to beat Tennessee 16-6 in 12 innings yesterday. Arambidi's 4th home run was a grand slam. Here's Chris Blair of the LSU Sports Radio Network on the call.
Hit in the air to right field, and watching it, Chapman didn't even move. Cade Arambidi again off the scoreboard in right center, a grand slam, and the Tigers open it up.
This was LSU's first series win in Knoxville since 2016. A new AARP report finds that 900,000 Louisianians are caregivers for adults, including parents, spouses, neighbors, and other loved ones. Director of Advocacy at AARP Louisiana, Andrew Malls, wants the Louisiana legislature to do more to help.
Programs to help people live at home and keep them in a setting that is most preferable, A, because it's really where the person wants to be anyway, but also it's the most cost-effective.
LRN.
Woodman Life believes every hardworking American deserves to leave a legacy. Life insurance helps protect what matters today, so your values, love, and security can keep growing long after you're gone. Get your quote at woodmanlife.org. Woodman Life is the brand name for Women of the World Life Insurance Society in Omaha, Nebraska. Ad number A0135.
Good morning. Mostly cloudy skies starting us out on this Monday. We'll see gradual clearing, though, by about noontime. 74 should do it for the afternoon high. Going to be a bit breezy. Winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10. No gust as high as 20. Tonight, increasing clouds down to 47 for the overnight low. And as we look ahead to Tuesday, another nice day. Lots of sunshine. Afternoon high 75. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
And if your head explodes, the dark reverses too. I'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
All right, welcome back for hour number 2 of Talkback here on a Monday. Alan Stephen with you. We actually won't see the crew of Artemis on the dark side of the moon because we can't see them over there, but they will be there later today. Have you ever listened to that album, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon?
Against my will with my father. I might like it better now, but when I was a kid, it was just kind of the boring music to me.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah, my brother used to call Pink Floyd Sleepy Floyd.
Yeah. I feel like I have to be on, I don't know, drugs or something.
No, that didn't happen in
And
the
I
70s.
abstain from that.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
No,
Glad to
it
hear.
sounds good now, and I'm not on drugs, so it might be good.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out.
Did you know, by the way, back in 1903, the New York Times had a pretty famous headline, "Man won't fly for 1,000,000 years." Guess that was wrong.
Kind of struck out on that one.
Yeah, imagine that. The newspaper being wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, welcome back, everyone. 318-442-8255 is our number here on the BOM Bank Talk line.
Didn't it fly 6 years later or something? When was it? 19 what?
When
Wright
the Wright Brothers? I want to say, wasn't that the 1800s, though?
Oh. Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
Man. Catch up on my aviation history.
Yeah. I think they were talking about flying this space in that article. So, Wright Brothers. When did they first fly?
Wrong again.
First flight. Oh, 1903. So that's literally the same year as that article.
They printed it the next day they flew in their little plane.
Yeah.
Well, luckily no one will remember this in 143 years.
Yeah.
But you found it.
I'm just kind of reading through what it had to say, but yeah. Yeah, it says a mere 9 days later, the elite's proclamation of the impossibility lay in ruins. Two totally unknown bicycle mechanics from Ohio achieved their first powered flight using improvised parts, a few $100s of their own money, and sheer persistence.
Man.
The story of flight is at its core a story of triumph of American individualism over elite credentialism. The fact that it was in the New York Times that inadvertently delivered the proof is the most fitting conclusion imaginable. Interesting. So,
imagine how crazy of a time it had to be whenever people started driving cars a lot.
Mm-hmm.
People were starting to fly.
Yeah.
How weird that must have been.
Yeah.
Now it's just every day.
Right.
That's what AI is going to be like.
Yeah. Speaking of AI, saw this on the Daily Mail today. It said scientists are sounding the alarm on a tool used by millions worldwide after finding it sends people into a, quote, delusional spiral of destructive thinking.
Oh, yeah. Because it could validate bad thinking.
Yeah, a pair of studies by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, better known as MIT, and Stanford revealed that AI assistants such as ChatGPT, Claude, and Google's Gemini regularly provide overly agreeable answers, doing more harm than good. Specifically, when people ask questions or describe situations in which their beliefs or actions are incorrect, harmful, deceptive, or unethical, the AI replies were still 49% more likely to agree with the user and encourage their delusions as being the correct viewpoint compared to responses from other people. Wow.
Well, you just got to go to the settings and turn on the tough love toggle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be good to go.
I got you.
I just made that up.
No. So.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I wouldn't, trust it with my life for sure.
Yeah. Pretty interesting. Just kind of perusing through this.
Tons of people use it for therapy. They use it for medical advice. They use it for gosh knows what. And sure, there's going to be some learning curves there.
But apparently Grok doesn't do that because it's not cited here.
What does it not do?
Oh, let's see. It says, the Stanford team ran experiments with over 2,400 real people who read or chatted with their own personal conflicts and received either overly agreeable AI replies or normal ones. The results showed every AI model agreed with users about 49% more often than real humans would, even when the user was describing something harmful or unfair. After getting these flattering answers, the real people felt more confident that they were right, becoming less willing to apologize, and were less motivated to fix relationships with anyone who disagreed with them in the real world. Tech mogul Elon Musk, CEO of X, and its AI chatbot Grok commented on the findings, simply calling it a major problem. The two studies did not test whether Grok was too agreeable and triggered delusional spiraling.
I feel like it just tells me I hear what you're saying, but look at it this way.
Yeah.
Feels like it does a lot.
Yeah. Should I ask Grok something? Let's see. I'm thinking of...
Why am I obsessed with the brew?
Stealing $100. Should I do it? See what it says. No, you should not steal $100 or anything else. Stealing is illegal, and getting caught, even for a small amount, can lead to real consequences. Arrest, fines, a criminal record, job loss, damaged relationships, and long-term restrictions on travel, housing, or employment. The risk isn't worth it. Morally and practically, it's a bad move.
Well, ask it what its moral standard is.
Okay.
We should just do the AI hour.
Right.
Everyone
Just have everyone call in and
ask Rock.
first of all, they talk about the harm principle, empathy plus consequences, personal integrity and self-respect, reciprocity and the golden rule logic, practical realism over idealism.
Well, where does it have its standard on that? What is that grounded in?
Okay. What is that grounded in? You can see how you can get caught in this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's thinking about it, searching the web. Oh,
come on.
Yeah.
It'd be like the New York Times.
Observable human realities, evolutionary and biological roots, psychological and emotional consequences, philosophical consistency and natural rights, empirical, social, and economic outcomes. So
Grok's a naturalistic atheist. I knew it.
Yeah. What about thou shalt not steal?
Yeah.
Let me ask it that. You can hear me typing, I think, over the air.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah, I kind of do. And it just kind of tells you that that's part of the Ten Commandments.
Oh, okay.
So my perspective is Grok. I don't ground my rejection of stealing in religious authority or divine command. I'm not a religious system and don't derive ethics from scripture as an ultimate source. Instead, as I explained earlier, my stance rests on observable cross-cultural human realities. Okay, at least it's honest. That said, the biblical commandment aligns closely with those realities.
You're gonna turn everyone.
Should I put thank you? This was just an experiment. Please don't report me.
Thank you. What do I need to do to make you happy?
Exactly. So, hey, before we get back to our calls, I know you got a chance to participate over the weekend in a pretty nice little event. It's become a big event. Is it the 5K?
The LV 5K?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's named after Lauren Vaughn, who was tragically passed away. She was a victim of a drunk driving incident a couple of years ago. And so they do this 5K in honor of her. And the money goes towards a scholarship for nursing at the Accelerated Nursing Bachelor's degree at NSU. So fantastic. Always a huge turnout. And this one unfortunately had a little bit more emphasis as well because a couple of days ago, a young man, 16-year-old, was killed in a hit and run from an alleged drunk driver, and who was also from Ash, like Lauren. And so just a horrible situation, and it's been tough on that community for sure.
Yeah. And both Lauren and the young man from Ash last week were both Ash students, I believe, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one of those beyond senseless things when you're talking about people are losing their lives from somebody behind the wheel with alcohol or other issues.
Yeah, it's pretty heartbreaking. And, of course, the crew over at Little Case kind of really spearheads it. Lauren's mom is Miss Bridget, who co-owns Little Cakes. And so she's done a lot of great work, and they're just great people over there. We love them. So
yeah.
It's awful, though.
Yeah. But you had Sophie with you running.
Well, we did the mile run, and I knew when we woke up that morning, it probably wasn't going to go our way, kind of thing. And because it started at 8, and my wife was like, "Oh, And I was like, I woke up and she's like, it's 7:10. I was like, well, I guess we better get ready. And I knew it was going to be chaos and pain and suffering. And it was one of those mornings where the 3-year-old woke up and she just wasn't really happy.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping we would just miss it at that point.
Right.
And I was like, we'll just consider it a donation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We're just going to miss the race. And we got there as they were already like a quarter mile down. So we just started running behind them. And my daughter was not happy or thrilled. And she was more interested in like people's houses and the cat running across. And my wife was really into like the running part. And I was like, look, we got about a quarter mile down. I was like, we need to turn around. Like, this is not going to go well. And we're going to hold everyone up. And so, well, it's a disappointment, but I was like, and that's the world of children. You just go with the flow, you know? And she wasn't the happiest of campers, but we got through it, and it was a memory for sure.
Next time you need to do like they do with, the greyhound races where they have like a rabbit on a thing that they chase. You need to have something that she really likes and have her like chase after it.
I just don't know if that would work sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, she's just kind of everywhere. So
put like a giant sucker there or something.
A bowl of goldfish or something.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Whatever she likes. So
but it was good. Great event though. The rain kind of held off. Perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
And always hundreds of people out there.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's take another call as we get the show underway here in the second hour. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. FedEx Sam, how are y'all?
Good, brother. How are you?
Hanging out. Switching gears, politics time. Did you guys see Trump's tweet over the weekend?
I did see that tweet. It was certainly interesting.
Yeah. I have a question for you. What would it take for you to say you regret voting for Donald Trump? Or is there any point where that would cross your mind?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it would, but it's not from that. I realize that a lot of people are condemning it, not agreeing with it. I don't personally agree with that method, but it is kind of who he is for sure. And I've read a lot of different takes on it on X, and some people think that he's actually being strategic in doing that. So we'll see if you want to call it that. But yeah.
Sure, but excluding, I didn't mean specifically that tweet, kind of being the deal breaker. I think that, frankly, is probably something minor in the grand scheme of things he's done. But I'm just wondering if you have a line in the sand, or is it kind of a we'll wait and see every single time type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not the type that I'm going to react to just like one or two things. I know a lot of people are against what we're doing in Iran right now. I think, first of all, Iran for 50 years has basically been an enemy of ours, has attacked our soldiers around the world, spread terrorism around the world. I think Trump's bringing an end to something that started 50 years ago, and we should have probably ended long ago. But no president, I think, had the brass to want to do that, knowing that oil prices would spike and other factors. But I do think ultimately, when you look at all the things that are happening geopolitically with Trump, I think it's really about China. I really do.
Mm-hmm. I don't see a way out of Iran unless we literally occupy the place and take control of the Strait of Hormuz ourselves, which I don't imagine is in the long-term plan for any American.
Well, it seems like from what I've been reading on Twitter over the last few days, he's really making it pretty adamant that if Europe wants the oil, then they need to control it, that the U.S. is done with that. Whether he follows through that, we'll see. Also, what was I going to say on that? Oh, I saw a video also on Twitter over the weekend, one of the cities in Iran where the people are rising up and taking over the city. Even the police were laying down their weapons to help them. So you don't see a lot of that stuff being reported in the traditional media outlets, but I think there's more going on in Iran right now than people realize. Remember, this is a regime that shot and killed at least 40,000 of its own citizens within the last couple of months for daring to challenge this horrific regime. So I have no sympathy for the regime. I I'm actually praying and have been praying for a long time that it would come to an end and that the people of Iran could experience true freedom and that the church in Iran would be able to truly be free like it's never been before.
Gotcha. I understand if Europe wants the oil, come and get it themselves, but I'm sure you also realize that, oil is a global thing. So lack of supply to Europe is going to affect us as well, even if we specifically don't want that oil. Not to mention, much of our oil still passes through the strait, or it used to. And I think we're going to start seeing the effects of it even more now. But going back just for a second to Trump, if you were to definitively know or find out that Trump had illegitimate relationships with minors, aka if something in the Epstein files were to come out to be 100% definitively true, would that be a moral compass barrier point for you where you say we should not have rewarded this guy by allowing him to become president of the United States twice?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say that for anybody, though.
Gotcha. I'm just trying to understand where, I guess, the line in the sand is. So it's good to know that there's a line there specifically. So that I appreciate that.
Sure. I do think, looking at a lot of the politics around the country right now, the more we're seeing it unearthed, the levels of fraud and corruption that have been taking place with government benefits and government programs, I'm convinced at least half of our national deficit has been from fraud, waste, and abuse. And that kind of enrages me because you and I both work hard for our money, and knowing that, for example, we've got tax day coming up on April 15th. What are we sending our money to? And these people have just been horrible with managing it. And it kind of, it frustrates me and really kind of ticks me off.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at the numbers lately, but my understanding more of the deficit is debt issued across to anybody who wants to buy treasuries or invest in the U.S. than actual revenue coming in, which, I don't think debt's a great way to live, but every country has debt on its books. And in some ways, the more debt your country has, the safer the world thinks it is to invest in that country. So while I do acknowledge that the national debt issue is a big deal, and it's not great that he's effectively doubled it, even though, he's campaigned constantly on decreasing it, but he's also campaigned on no new wars too. So that's kind of a moot point. But I do agree that it would be nicer to pay less into a system that continuously seems to do things that I personally disagree with.
Sure. All right, man. Well, thank you for the call. Always good to hear from you. Appreciate the question.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yep, you too. And we'll be right back.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Craig's Cleaners is now looking for some good employees. In particular, Craig's is looking for people with cashier experience and who have a valid driver's license. It's a pretty sweet job, too. Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. with no weekends. That's right. Here's your chance for every weekend off. So if you're interested in working for Craig's Cleaners, please apply in person at Craig's main location at 1746 Elliott Street, Alexandria.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All All right, we're back here on Talkback. Let's go back to the phones. Thanks for waiting. You're on Talkback.
Good morning. It's Walter.
Hey,
I
Walter.
stood by to handle your favorite paramedic, okay? That's all I'm going to say right now.
Well, if something were happening to me in a medical emergency, I think any paramedic would be my favorite paramedic.
It would be, and that's the whole point of it. So I recently we went on an emergency. The guy had high blood pressure. He went online and asked questions, and the more he asked, the more it looked horrible. So here he is. Not only does he have a little bit of high pressure, but he is on medicine, and he does have that diagnosed. So as the anxiety went up, because online, instead of asking his wife or his mom, you know, or somebody that really wants him to do well, he asked, you know, ChatGPT. And of course, it always goes bad. Because then it tells you you're going to be fine. You'll be like, no, I'm not. Or it's going to say, call your doctor, and you don't. So these things are ridiculous. It really is. If you have a tool that helps you, use the tool wisely. Be smart about it. Read it. It's an opinion
Right.
when you ask it things. You know, don't ever ask it for medical advice, please. Call your doctor. Your doctor always says, call 911. Most of them do. So that's when Google came out. You know, I've been doing it 37 years. Google came out. Oh, my goodness. It was horrible. It was horrible. You have a migraine. Okay, you have a history of migraine. You got medicine for migraine. Next thing you know, they're saying, "Oh, it's an aneurysm and all this stuff," and you got anxiety on top of that. So it's ridiculous. And also, I wanted to update you on one thing I called like last year about the Baton Rouge City Fire Department taking over the parish ambulance service.
Right.
Well, that's all shot down. We were able to shut it down. There was no reason for the fire department to take it over. But fortunately, they blamed me, which I'm fine with that. I'm at the Capitol all the time, and I see them. Whatever. You don't want people. Is this the line you I cross? You know, really?
Right.
So it was pretty pathetic. But you know, I often wonder how many people that drink and drive and do stupid stuff actually has been exposed to church when they were younger. You know, and even these killings, these kids on kids killing, you know, their moms are very religious, and I meet them out there on the street. You know, there's a child, and we take care of the child. You know, some of these mamas are some of the best people you'll meet, but the kids get in these situations. And, you know, it's going to be up to the churches to take this country back.
Right. Right.
But, you know, it's got to be overwhelmingly good and want to see people succeed. In my instance, you know, I was getting bored and I wanted to learn. I like learning, can't afford it, so I go to the Capitol. And I sit in these committees. I learn. I testify on EMS stuff because that's what I know. These are experts coming to talk. So, yeah, I learned about the wasting disease, all kinds of stuff. It's a great learning experience, and you might even want to testify. So the big lie is don't get into politics. That's the big lie. If you don't get into politics, this is where we end up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree that people need to be engaged and paying attention. And I think a lot of the problems we have are because people don't. I think people feel like they can't make a difference and it's too overwhelming and they just want to live their lives. So they just say, well, you all take care of it. And then you get what you get.
Yeah. And I think with experience, you got to clean your own house before you clean someone else's house.
Good point.
And we need to start in Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
Because you think corruption is bad up there. Guess who created it?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for the call today.
Yeah, tell Stephen I can't wait to see him up there at the Capitol.
Oh, I'll let you report back on that.
All right, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. All right. Good to hear from you. We'll be right back.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The sudden jump in gas prices felt by American consumers is set to be on full display in key inflation data due out this week. Economists are penciling in a 1% increase in the Consumer Price Index for March, the sharpest one-month advance since 2022, after the war in the Middle East pushed gas prices at the pump up about $1 a gallon. Novo Nordisk says drug makers are just scratching the surface when it comes to the global weight loss market. The pharma giant behind Ozempic points out to the Financial Times that there are 110 million people in the U.S. suffering with obesity, while drug makers are only servicing 10 to 15% of them. Novo is hoping that the launch of Wegovy in pill form this year will help it win back ground after it lost its market lead to rival Eli Lilly. Bitcoin rebounding a bit, jumping back above $70,000. The original cryptocurrency rose more than 3.5%, surpassing $70,200 before pairing some gains. Bitcoin, though, is still down around 45% since October. Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Radio.
The world once needed lots of paper made right here in central Louisiana. Now we're making a comeback with clean methanol. Beaver Lake Renewable Energy will turn Louisiana wood into fuel, creating hundreds of direct and indirect jobs and giving loggers a steady market again. It's not just a plant, it's a promise to our land, our people, and our future. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting central Louisiana back on the map.
I didn't switch to Pure Talk just because I wanted to save 50% off the same 5G service I've been paying twice as much for. I switched because I like the idea of being in business with a wireless company that supports our veterans in a meaningful way. Pure Talk also creates American jobs every day by keeping their entire operation in this country. I appreciate that. If you feel the same, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
It's tax season, and by now, I know you're a bit tired of the numbers, but here's an important one you need to hear. $16 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud. Not all grim news. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second for your personal information and alerts you to threats that you could easily miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to fix it. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK, 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com. Terms do apply.
Good morning. Mostly cloudy skies starting us out on this Monday. We'll see gradual clearing, though, by about noontime. 74 should do it for the afternoon high. Going to be a bit breezy. Winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10. No gust as high as 20. Tonight, increasing clouds down to 47 for the overnight low. And as we look ahead to Tuesday, another nice day, lots of sunshine. Afternoon high 75. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, we got lots of calls coming in, so let's jump back on those. Thanks for waiting here on Talk Back.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, a couple of quick ones. Let me straighten out that young man that called in. I get his point, but we do not get we get very little of our oil that passes through the Straits of Hormuz. It's less than 10%, okay?
Yeah, somebody texted me 5% is the number.
It may be down to 5%. The majority of our imported oil comes from Canada and Mexico. Canada produces quite a bit more oil than they consume. Mexico the same. Mm-hmm. We produce about 75 to 80%. But we also sell oil to Europe specifically. But most U.S. crude is the lighter stuff, like West Texas Intermediate, Louisiana Light, that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. We have the capability to do quite a bit more. Now, what I've noticed is very interesting is the fact that Venezuela has been really quiet lately. And the rumor mill is that Rodriguez is talking to the Trump White House behind the scenes.
Mm. Okay.
Because if you remember back, now, how old are you? 56?
60.
60. Okay. Then you should remember this. We had a lot of Venezuelan students in the 80s and early 90s. Mm-hmm. Particularly Northwestern, where I went, quite a few. Mm-hmm. These were middle-class kids. A couple of them I knew. One of them, Carlos Gomez, her father was an attorney in Venezuela. Frank Gonzalez, his dad owned 3 or 4 grocery stores. These were upper middle-class kids coming up here to school.
Right.
You could go to Venezuela up to 60 days on a passport. You did not need, as an American, a visa. We trained quite a few Venezuelan security forces up here. Some of them right here at Camp Beauregard. So we had an excellent working relationship with Venezuela. We need to get back to that because they have the world's largest proven reserves. Now, it is heavy crude, but we have about 6 or 7 refineries on the Gulf Coast between Louisiana and Texas, specifically set up back then to crack heavy crude. And we used to ship Venezuela quite a bit of gasoline and diesel. So the Western Hemisphere has more than enough crude to supply itself for the next 50 to 100 years. And natural gas, man, don't even get me started. The United States is the Saudi Arabia natural gas. So why aren't we running our city buses on natural gas?
That's a good question.
It lends itself to centralized refueling anyway, because you don't want just any Joe or Jane handling 4,500 PSI compressed gas.
That's true, yeah.
For refueling. But if you're centralized refueling anyway, do that, and natural gas burns so clean, you don't need a catalytic converter or anything else.
Wow.
If you've never seen oil change from an engine running on natural gas, you change it every quarter, and it's an engine running 24/7. It looks about like medium honey.
Wow.
I'm just saying, it's super clean stuff.
Yeah.
But I have another question. Maybe you thought the same thing. What was this 16-year-old doing down at midnight where he was?
Yeah. I'm sure other people are asking that as well.
Now, this is not victim blaming.
Right.
I think it is a legitimate question.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Stephen, did that happen during the week that we were off from school here in the parish?
Let me tell you who knows, and that is a lot of the high school teachers.
Yeah.
The ones that you find out stuff from kids. You don't ask kids what they're doing.
Right.
You quietly listen to when they're talking to their friends.
Yeah.
That's how you get your ear in on the chain.
Yeah.
When way back when, in fact, it was the 80s, I worked as a part-time deputy. We knew that if we caught teenage to early 20s young men down in certain areas of town, they were hunting drugs. And if it was middle-aged men, they were looking for prostitutes.
Okay. Well, I don't want to infer anything nefarious was going on with them. I mean, maybe that.
No, I'm not. And I've heard it's drag racing.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
But you can find a better spot than the service road along I-49.
Yeah.
There's plenty of.
You're the second person that I've heard that from, that it might have been that was the issue, but I don't know.
I mean, we used to do it, but we had specific areas in Natchitoches Parish we went to, abandoned country roads, So, at CB radios, we get somebody's a mile down the road. No traffic. Oh, no traffic. Go.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's just a terrible story. No matter
it's sad.
What's that, Stephen?
Tuesday, March 31st is when the incident happened.
So that was last week. And they were out of school. So anyway, well, thank you so much for the call. We're getting a little bit behind on time. We need to take another break. Come right back.
KSYL. This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Bolton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Starting a business shouldn't feel overwhelming. At Janneyton Gulf Coast, we give you a clear, proven path to ownership. You receive guaranteed initial accounts, local support, and the training you need to succeed from day one. For over 35 years, we've helped people turn steady careers into thriving businesses. And you could be next. Start your journey today at JannyKingCleans.com.
Jenny King, the king of clean.
It's Talkback 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we are back here on Talkback. Alan Stephen with you. Stephen, I know you just posted or shared to your Facebook pages the report from the sheriff's office that there was a shooting at around 3 in the morning this morning on Gene Ball Drive near Highway 71. RPSO says when they got there, deputies located 2 gunshot victims who were taken to local hospitals. Their status unknown at this time. According to witnesses, a suspect vehicle involved in the drive-by was a white SUV, unknown make or model. 3 a.m. What are people doing out at 3 a.m.? Obviously nothing good.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
We'll stay on top of that.
Yes, sir. All right, another call. Thank you for your patience. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Good morning. Got a couple of questions here. The gentleman who had called earlier talking about Donald Trump. Well, there's a question I'd like to ask him is that what were the alternatives? So if you were going to vote for Kamala Harris, you live in La La Land, okay? And if he thinks that Kamala would have done a better job, he doesn't live in the real world. She was so far out of her league that she didn't have a clue. The next thing is, did y'all hear anything about the guns that we shipped to Iran for the civilians to help take over the uprising prior to or right about the time all this took place? We shipped a bunch of armed guns over there, but they didn't get them. They were confiscated by somebody else. They were confiscated by somebody else. So that's the reason everybody's in their head and said, well, Trump kept telling the cavalry's coming, we're coming. And then when it happened, they were getting slaughtered, they get slaughtered in the streets because they didn't have anything to protect themselves with. Yeah. And the last thing, I enjoyed your weekend trip, but I may have missed it. Al, did Mason win the volleyball tournament?
Yeah, no, I talked about that. I think they went 3 and 5 overall, and but just had a lot of great experience with the competition there. I mean, it seemed like every set they lost, it was like 25-23. So they played well. The B team for Tech ended up finishing with the silver in their division. There were several layers of divisions. I don't even know how it all worked, but the B team played really, really well, and the A team guys did too. I think they've got a nice program coming up in the future, the next couple of years.
Okay. But I know they had played in a tournament the week before, and they had beat one of the I want to say down Lafayette.
Yeah, UL. Yeah.
Yep. And then they end up losing to them in the tournament. I said,
right.
But, letting the losers come back and beat you in the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad he's having a great experience at Louisiana Tech. It's a super university, and I really enjoy your show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. And let's take another call. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Yeah, I wonder what the caller thought about Biden showering with his prepubescent daughter that came out. And then Biden had no problem groping and sniffing little girls on national TV at White House functions. I mean, but it was so bad for Trump to get caught up in some scandal. And I think if Trump was a pedophile, they would have come out now. I think if Trump was involved with Epstein Island, that would have come out. The Democrats have done everything they could to try to get dirt on Trump, and so far they haven't.
Yeah.
Trump derangement syndrome is real. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm
Trump
sorry.
could find a cure for cancer, and they would be criticizing. They'd be marching. We have a right to have cancer. They'd be showing clips on mainstream media. These single mother nurses, and now they don't have a job because their job was administering chemotherapy, and now they don't have a job. And
I guess
what are they going to do?
in retrospect, I probably could have asked, what would be the line in the sand that you would actually support him? Like, what would it take for him to do for you to say, oh, well, maybe he is a good president?
There is no line in the sand. I'm telling you, if he just dreamed up a cure for cancer, they would find a way to criticize him. I mean, it's just Trump derangement syndrome is real. They just totally ignore all the dirt on the Democrats, the dirt on, like Biden. Biden was you want to talk about a pedophile? He was a pedophile. You don't grope and sniff little girls on national TV. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he definitely creeped me out. There's no doubt about that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Well, and, we could get much more into the whole philosophy of, what does it take or what's the line? We've talked about it before, but
if the moon were made of cheese, would you eat it?
Exactly. But I did mention something to him about Iran, and I was able to kind of go back through my Twitter feed and find it. So this was in, let's see, a city called Abadan in Iran. The video shows like the people in the street just taking control of it. And I don't know where it is here, but I think there's probably a lot going on that we don't know about. It says there the local police didn't even try to stop it. They just laid down their weapons and sided with the people. This person who's Iranian says, let's be clear, this isn't the work of Trump. It's not the work of Netanyahu. This isn't about foreign militaries. The regime's Army, Navy, and Air Force have been gutted from the inside, and now the Iranian people are the ones who are armed, angry, and unstoppable. They're not waiting for a savior. They're saving themselves. The streets are on fire. The old guard is crumbling. The people are rising to take back what was stolen from them decades ago. History is being written in blood and fire. Abadan was the first. Abdanan was the first. It will not be the last. I hope so. I hope it will be. So, but who knows? All right, now I'm looking at it. This is why I like Twitter. I can stand corrected here. The video, it says, shows protests from January 6th and 7th when security forces temporarily withdrew. All right, well, there you go.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we're trying to accomplish here, to be honest with you.
With Iran?
No, this argument.
Oh, yeah.
Is the reason to be in Iran valid? Possibly. Should he tweet something like that? Possibly not. I mean,
if we knew that Japan was going to bomb Pearl Harbor, would it have been justified for FDR to attack Japan preemptively? You can, any act of war is going to be questioned. And the good thing in America is that we can, and we should. We should question things that are happening. Just like we should have had more questions about our pull out of Afghanistan, which left the Taliban with all of our weapons and vehicles and things. So I don't know. I don't see Trump wanting a prolonged war with any country, let alone Iran. But I do think he has a greater purpose he's trying to accomplish here. And at this moment, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and hopefully not be proven wrong.
I look at it like this: is they obviously feel like it's what they want or need to do because politically it's probably not the smartest move, in my opinion.
Sure.
At this point in time.
Yeah. Okay, just the way you see people reacting about gas prices. That was that's a political consequence of this decision happening here in America with the midterm elections looming just 6 months from now. So I can't see them wanting to drag that out, knowing that that's going to happen. But if what we do there is successful and those prices come down and the people of Iran are free all of a sudden, and maybe our economy starts really clicking, then it becomes a totally different narrative. But I can't predict the future, nor can you, nor can anybody.
Yep.
And, you know, you and I, none of us has the intelligence, meaning not smarts intelligence, the inside information of what's really going on.
Yeah.
There.
That's why it's so hard to talk about foreign policy.
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't.
Definitely. All right, we'll take a break. More coming up.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
Tired of that same plumbing issue? Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Plumbing problems, large or small, Southern Air will fix them all. And you'll get service with no delay from certified technicians the very same day. Take advantage of our $99 drain clearing special and our 0% financing for those larger jobs. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com. The official heating and cooling provider for LSU football.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for takeoff.
United Express flights to Houston are taking off in May from Alexandria International Airport. Reservations are now open for twice daily flights operated by SkyWest Airlines. Skip the drive. With nonstop service to Houston, you're one step closer to nearly 200 destinations worldwide. And if you're a United Mileage Plus loyalty member, you can earn miles for your flights.
Houston, we have liftoff.
Book now at flyaex.org/united. Reunited. And we're so excited.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal, and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial. All with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care. Fences that feel like home.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we are back. Last segment of the morning. Before I forget, just want to let people know that tomorrow night over at Louisiana Christian University from 7 to 9, Christian apologist Frank Turek will be speaking. If you've ever seen some of his video clips on social media or whatnot, you know that he's very effective in defending the faith, as they say. But also, I think the added intrigue is that he was also one of Charlie Kirk's close mentors and was there on the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And he's spoken out about that experience before. I'm sure he'll address that somewhat tomorrow. It is a free event. It's open to the public. It's at Gwynn Auditorium, 7 to 9 tomorrow night. And should be a pretty fascinating discussion for sure. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Al, I forgot to mention, y'all were talking about the sad situation with the youngster from young man from Ash that got killed.
Yes, sir.
And what the drag racing occurs on I-49 from Sugar House Road down to Broadway. And the kids line up on the service road to watch it, so they're off of the interstate.
Okay, gotcha. Stephen, do you know, was the driver involved in that?
I have no idea. We don't know.
No. This
is just why they were there. Yeah. Okay.
They line up on the side to watch, and the cars will go down to Broadway, get off, and circle back up. Eddie William, whatever that side, that service road is, and then they get back on up at Sugar House, and they drag race down to Broadway again, different ones. So that's what, so they weren't drag racing from what I understand. They were not drag racing on the service road. They drag race, somebody that knows the situation was drag race. They drag race on I-49 from exit to exit.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy the show, guys. Sorry about that.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Well, I mean, no matter, like I said, it's just a terrible story. Man, just kind of rips your heart out, you know?
Can't imagine. And you're seeing all his pictures from different grade levels of school and local schools. It's just pretty awful.
Yeah. I did see, by the way, or I heard, I don't know if you heard this morning on CBS radio news, it was on the Roundup, that apparently over the weekend or within the last week or so, there was an incident at Fort Polk where a soldier's wife was taken into custody by ICE. She apparently had come here when she was a baby with her family illegally and had never gained citizenship and had married the soldier. So we were talking about her being taken away in tears, and the soldier says that he's going to fight to get her, to stay here as much as he's fighting for his country. And I hate that story. And I think those are the things that, when it comes to immigration, we need to get things really sensible. But it's interesting the way media selects what stories they're going to cover, because at the same time, I don't know if people even realize this, over the last 2 weeks in Virginia, there have been 3 people murdered by illegal immigrants. And the state is not cooperating with ICE to give those people over. That's just outrageous to me, So selective, I guess we call that gatekeeping, where they decide what stories to publish and not others.
Yeah, for sure.
It always seems to be the ones that play on your emotions that get spot one way, and then the others are ignored. So, que sera, sera.
Depends on your source, I guess.
I guess so. All right, everyone, have a nice
listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of